You probably don't know that there's a new Volkswagen out that doesn't look like a Volkswagen. It's got everything that people who like the bug like. So if you happen to see a good-looking Volkswagen, don't panic.
George T, what's happening? Yeah, go ahead, George.
Thanksgiving is what's happening at the Bill T residence.
All right, I like it. Let's see. I'm trying to get my screen situated here because I'm live streaming and we're George and I are doing this at the same time. So if I hit this, then I hit this, and then I hit that. It should be two screens side by side, but I just don't get why it is not doing it. So anyway, guys, happy Turkey Day for those of you guys that are out there listening. George and I decided we're going to come on here and do a podcast.
Gobble, gobble.
And we have lots to talk about today. We got a roundtable happening. As you see in the title, it talks about first Race of Champions, right? Race of Champions is canceled. So that just happened this week. Cory Mack came out and put a thing out there talking about why they canceled it. They said it was
weather related.
Yeah, they said it was something to do with weather and all that kind of stuff. But based on what I've seen, I think they struggled to get promotion off the ground on that thing. And the problem, I think what some people may or may not take into consideration is the time of year where you have an event makes a big difference, right? And Christmas time, December is a tough month. There's going to be
October's pushing it, because it's end of year. You got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, and then New Year's. To put a show in between Thanksgiving and Christmas is really dicey. Also, people are going to be spending money on Christmas gifts in December,
Yeah, there's
very little marketing. Nobody even knew it. If you weren't following the page, you would have never known that show was even thought to happen.
Well, and that's in effect part of the challenge, right? Because when you have stuff like an event like that's happening, you need to build a following first. For example, but
if you don't have a following, because it's not like when we started One Crazy Weekend, there was a crazy following, but you have to put some effort into promoting the show.
Right.
You do. And we usually, by this time, would be announcing our dates and everything before the new year even shows up. They literally announced, the show's happening 2 weeks ago, and the show's in 3 weeks from there, 4 weeks from there. Especially when you talk about drag racers, the amount of planning that they have to do to bring a car down, the logistics of setting up crews and cars and the time they're going to have to take off work and all that stuff, that's insane to start announcing it 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the actual show is going to take place.
There is, that event's a lot, and just putting the event on in and of itself, it's a huge financial undertaking. I think
I can only imagine.
I think it's $30,000 for
easily.
The day. It's $30,000 to start, then plus. It was funny because we're talking about One Crazy Weekend 2026, and we're trying to talk about teaming up with another event that's of a similar type of people that would be there just to get more people to the hotel that would come be more spectators and all that stuff. And this is at one of the hotels that we work with, and they have an arena in the back. And I said, well, what's the cost of the arena? And he said, it's $25,000 a day plus.
Yeah.
Plus employees, plus security, plus. I mean, you're talking $30,000. And then when you're looking at whatever event you're going to have there, is it an event that justifies having, that first requires people to sit around and watch it like a concert, right? And then there's the aspect of,
are you going to recoup that money?
Yeah, well, that's
what is the door charge to recoup that money? And if you're talking about that show at Speedway, $30,000 is the bare minimum, probably what they have to get paid. You need more than 120 people, 140 people walking in the door. You need thousands of people to walk in the door.
And I'd already heard all the people talking about it online. Local people were like, well, it's too expensive to race, so I'm just going to do the test and tune Friday night, which is through.
And that wasn't even through the show. They
Right.
received no proceeds from test and tune the
Correct.
night before.
Yeah. And
that's typical VW people, like, well, that's kind of pricey, so I found this backdoor route to experience a lot of it the same way.
And you wonder why people don't create more events. It's like the people have to support it, and the VW people are so used to like, oh, I go to the show, and they don't even realize like they'll go to a show that gives them nothing. They'll pay $20 a head to go to a park they could go to for free and gather on their own. So they could go there and pay $10 for a thing of popcorn and a $30 t-shirt and all this kind of stuff. And they don't understand how much money they're spending by the end of the day.
Yeah.
To where to create a good event, you've got to have a great venue to make it more worthwhile.
Well, we put on an event.
Yeah.
And we know that the event we put on is not a moneymaker.
Stand by. Keep going.
Realistically, it's a money loss because you're the one that comes out of pocket for everything. We don't have we also don't pursue stacks of sponsors, which we technically should have a lot more sponsors than we do now, considering the traction that show gains on social media and whatnot. You would think that more people would be jumping on board, to sponsor said event.
Well, we are definitely, there's more, as more people hear about the event, more people are reaching out to me wanting to be, wanting to be,
they want to be involved. They want to get
involved in the event. So.
And that's our fault. We should pursue that more.
Thanks, Eric. I got Eric's message to turn on the on-air sign. That's why I got up, turned on the on-air sign. All that hard work and energy that Heartlar
put in. It's a beautiful
sign. For me to leave it off when I'm finally live streaming online. Yeah. But it's
I really feel bad because I think the Cory Mack thing. I think if you guys are listening, his name pulls more.
Right. Hold on a second. And if you guys are listening, feel free to chime in the chat because I can see if you're posting comments. I can reply to them because I have it on my screen here. We're trying something new here, streaming with the software that I've had for a long time. And so we're just kind of throwing this out. We're also recording this as an audio podcast.
We'll also answer any questions you throw out there.
And shoot
it out there.
Any kind of questions you guys throw out there. But Eric Arnold, thanks for the turn the on-air sign on. So now we're in business. But so as you were saying, so Cory Mack was like, I'm going to do this.
I think he thinks his name has a little more weight behind it, to where they could just release an event and people are going to show up. I don't care who's putting the event on. You have to put the work in to get the people there. You do. I promote it in my videos. You promote it in the podcast. Very little promotion besides it takes place besides social media.
Yeah.
We don't have a sponsor that, a radio or TV show or anything like that. There's nothing like that happens for it. We do get a page in the magazine. But
it is interesting because when we're talking about promotion, for the last 4 years, the only time I've put out any flyers for One Crazy Weekend, I always throw away a half a box of flyers because
that used to be the way.
Yeah. Flyers work like to some degree in Southern California because there's such an abundance of cars at the car shows. I would go into like Bug In, or the reason I went to the Revival this weekend was to put out a bunch of flyers for the event and stuff like that. But anymore, the return I get on the flyers versus just social media posting.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, Vegas has a draw on its own. The problem with the track that all of us locals dislike, and anybody that comes to Vegas and hangs out in Vegas for a while, is the track is so far out there that it's like when you have an event out there, even to do a local event out there, even the locals struggle to go out there to support an event. Every single event that I've gone out to at the Speedway, the parking lot is so massive that I don't care how big your event is, but it's incredible. So Eric Arnold says the Cory Mack show has been scheduled 3 times, has happened once, it's canceled in 2020 because of COVID, right? That's when Brian reached out to me first, and in 2024, canceled in 2025 due to threat of weather. And there's part of a challenge there, right? So it's like you finally got one off the ground. They did that one 2024.
And it was actually a good show.
Well, the drag racing was great. The show was very small.
It was small, but as an event as a whole, the diapers on the car made a huge difference. The track was not shut down, because that is the biggest bummer about VW drag racing is you will go up there, see 2 cars race, and then an hour of cleanup time on the track because one guy blew his motor.
Right.
That was a very smooth running event that day. We saw plenty of drag racing. It was scheduled nicely to where you could go up, watch, and then go back out to the car show. I love what Frenchie did with pulling the heavy hitters onto that mat area where they had the floors out there.
Yeah.
it was very well put together for as little preparation, I think, as they had getting up to it.
The trophies were cool. They gave
Yeah.
like carbon fiber deck lids for trophies for the drag racers and stuff like that.
That's very cool.
I just think that the challenge with these events, especially the Speedway, it is so expensive. You really have to put
Yeah.
a substantial amount
You need
of
to draw.
effort.
You need people. There should have been so many out-of-staters walking in that door, to be spectators, because we were in the stands and it was pretty empty in the stands. And if you're not getting the spectators, the race money and the show car money and the vendor money is not going to recoup you $30,000 minimum dollars. It just won't.
Yeah, no, there's no question that for an event like that, it just requires so much, and the level of marketing that's there. And then where are you at with the VW shops or the VW manufacturer parts suppliers and all that stuff? Where are they at from a sponsoring standpoint?
Yeah.
It's everybody. I mean, I hate to say everybody's cheap, but people are cheap, bro. There's very few people that understand the value that they get out of putting on an event and associating themselves in an event. And it's also kind of touchy for them too, because what if the event's not so great?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some people don't want to be connected to that.
As far as sponsors go, though, what is the benefit of sponsoring the show? So you have to start looking at it that way too. What does it benefit a big name to come in and sponsor an event and put up $5,000 to $10,000 of what would be considered part of their marketing budget? That's a big chunk of change of any company's marketing budget out there. If you're any of these VW companies, unless you're Impy or like a Wolfsburg West or something like that, it takes a long time to recoup that in a business.
Yeah, I don't see Wolfsburg West out there big time sponsored a bunch
They
of
used
stuff.
to. I mean, they used to be the ones who sponsored the Classic and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
huh?
all those sponsors, like $200 sponsors, they're not big.
I know to get the head marquee, because I was approached about it, what John Jones used to spend to get KCW Presents was $3,500. Is what he had to put up to get KCW Presents on all the Bugorama, the Las Vegas Bugorama ones, So
well, and for a title sponsor, $3,500 to $5,000, it should be typically what a title sponsor would cost.
yeah.
So
And you think about that, like think about how KCW is not big time. It's 4 guys in a shop.
but he's turning some revenue, bro. Don't
Oh,
kid
he was.
yourself.
I'm not saying he wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
saying,
definitely
like,
doing some.
He's not the juggernaut that is some of these major companies.
There's no question. He was substantially smaller than the other people that should be sponsoring these events. And what I say by should be, it's like it's just it's my same complaint all the time with the VW people. It's like you never see, like when you go to a hot rod show, you see all kinds of manufacturing suppliers for all different kinds of cars, or guys just make stuff for Model Ts. Well, there might be 5 Model Ts there, but you never see a Volkswagen vendor at Good Guys, at any of these things. And what are you starting to see now at Good Guys and all these shows? You're starting to see Volkswagens. Like I just saw stuff from Good Guys in Scottsdale. Ton of Volkswagens there. A ton. 20 Volkswagens at the show. Was there any VW manufacturers out there representing or out there,
I'm sure vendor spaces are not cheap. And then how many vendors are actually located in Arizona because then it's also the travel time to get there and everything like that.
It doesn't matter. When people are at that event, there's a percentage of people that are at that event that are looking to buy a car or get into a car. And when Volkswagens feel, and you're not in the didn't grow up with Volkswagens or in the Volkswagen hobby, it seems so foreign that like, I might get a Volkswagen and there's no part support. There's no this, because it's such an exclusive group. Because you never see, like, there's no reason why Volkswagen companies, Wolfsburg West, all these people, there's no reason why none of them, and I mean none of them, put ads in any of the stuff for Hemmings Motor News or any of those magazines that have Volkswagens in them, that have cars for sale, stuff like that, classic stuff. They never cross platform market like that. So it's I got somebody chiming in, and Steve Holt tells me he never charged more than $2,500 for his main sponsor.
My bad.
So,
I thought it was 35. Because we had talked
but
about
still
it.
$2,500 is.
Sorry about this, Steve.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to misspeak.
But at any rate, it requires money to put those events on, and it's like no one understood the expense it would cost. And probably, if I'm not mistaken, Vegas is the most expensive track of all the tracks everybody rents.
I'd have to assume, just because it's also one of the nicest ones. I mean, the facilities they have there are top notch.
No, it's definitely a nice place with massive pits and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But on the double-edged sword, it's so big. No matter how big your event is, it looks like a flea on the back of a whale. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. So Hopefully they'll, there's always been, one crazy weekend we don't have any event stuff on a Sunday, and if those guys were doing drag races on Sunday, there's always
potential
that.
it could,
You know what I mean?
that it could bleed off into that. But I think also the same problem that Steve and them used to have is because there were other events stacked that weekend, theirs would get the least amount.
So Daisy
of
Peterson
traction.
says she's still that they're still going to be. I don't know. She. I'm assuming it's a Daisy Peterson says we are still going to race Friday and Sunday. So
they're still coming out the test tune and stuff like that. And I think there's also an some sort of import racing show that weekend. I would assume if VW people are coming out. Good luck on that, Daisy. Hope you get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of those people that run the Pacific Streetcar Association and all that stuff, and if VW people had a presence at the track, there's a couple diehards that are at the tracks all the time. The Lambs or some of them, and there's a couple other people that are constantly there at the track. And if there were 20 VW people that were constantly going to Pacific Street Car Association races and all that stuff, they'd probably end up doing a specific group just to race for Volkswagens or a class or whatever.
Yeah.
But these guys are just racing heads up with everybody else, just doing time trials and all that stuff. So
they are an import.
Yeah.
So there's import races. Get in them, guys.
But yeah, no. So that's the news du jour. What's happening today? Also, SEMA Show. We just had the SEMA Show here, and anyway,
I'll just say to the Cory Mack thing. I hope that show does come back.
Yeah.
Or some sort of show like it. Obviously, if Steve Hole's listening, let's talk, dude. October, first weekend. Let's make something happen.
I think it's such a huge outlay of cash.
It is.
Just to get your money back and the stress. And think about this. I just want everybody that's listening to think about this. I want you to think about taking your hard-earned money, laying it out, putting a big thing on and nobody's doing it to get rich, putting it on for the purpose of supporting the community, and then having everybody tell you what you could have done better.
Yeah. And in hopes of just breaking even, by the way. In hopes of just breaking even. To make money on a show is a rarity. I'm sure after a show is established, after a certain amount of time and whatnot, you would think at this point that one crazy weekend should be turning around and making money.
We were close.
We were closest here.
Well, listen.
But the bigger the show gets, the more fees they hit us with.
Look,
and
I don't
want
to say one thing, but I know Bugorama 54 was hugely profitable because of the T-shirt that they had. Do you see that, Steve? I know Steve's watching. Do you see that? Bugorama 54, they sold out those shirts.
Yeah.
They sold out the shirts. So Jared Winton, want to recognize Jared Winton on the chat. Hope all you guys are having a good turkey day.
Yeah, gobble, gobble.
We're just out here, George and I have been meaning to do a roundtable. So this is being recorded to be released on Friday, but some of you guys that are bored and on Facebook, you get an advanced screening. It's like
speaking of gobble gobble.
So on December 7th is the import face-off. So there's going to be people doing import face-off, and then Friday is the summit. It's always the summit drag racing series to keep people off the street. So that is what's happening. I can toggle over to that right here. This is what's happening here. Look at this dude. Like a pro. I'm zooming in. You don't even know, player. So so that's the import face-off that's going to be happening. So let's talk a little bit about, so just to put a pin and just to wrap up Cory Mack thing 100%, we hope you guys, we hope an event gets finalized. Drag racing from a VW standpoint is getting tough to get a big event with a lot of people at. And last year it had the beginnings of something good. I think December is not the best idea, but that's just me.
Move it at December.
And, but it may be whenever it works out for the track, but notwithstanding that, hopefully it comes back. Cory Mack, if you want to come on and we talk about it when you get the next event planned and we put a little more front end promotion into it. And by no means are we trying to be critical and beat up anybody. We're just stating facts. Like the fact of the matter is, if you're not on Facebook, because that's the funny part. We'll do this podcast. I know of 10 people that listen. I'm sorry. We're doing this Facebook live stream. I know of 10 people that will not see this because they're specifically not on Facebook. So they'll listen to the podcast, but they're not on Facebook. So there's different
marketing streams.
Deals. Yeah. So he said, Steve Hole's put in a comment on here, and he said at the end of Cory's post, he said something about changing the date and the venue from Vegas to who knows where. So, and again,
I'm sure there's a lot to do with the price. 100% with the price.
And I don't. I mean, I get it costs money to run the event, but the track is there. There is a hard cost for the people and all that stuff that's there. And for a single day event, it's probably cost them $5,000 for the people, the power and all that stuff to put on an event. Because let's say if you have 10 people involved, right? 2 guys on the track, 1 guy in the tower, a couple guys doing tech, or who knows? I mean, you know, a bunch of those guys are probably that, but 30,000 plus, it gets super expensive. And when you're going to swing 50 grand to hope to make it back, and then
Not a chance
everybody's
at a VW
like,
show.
I'm not going until I find out the payouts, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that. And then I'm hearing people like, well, I was going to drag race, but I'm just going to do the test and tune on Friday night, and I'll go as a spectator on Saturday. It's like, these are the same people that go, what happened to all the VW shows?
Yep.
Well, you guys killed it. So
I'll tell you what, I remember when Carrie was putting on in 94, the first bug-in that we did out the Speedway when it was the old crusty Speedway. And the amount of coddling she had to do to the racers was insane to me. Well, we're not going to come out unless you pay for this, or we're not going to come out unless you're paying for that.
yeah, it's a
And
different.
I'll tell you what, I have yet to go to a VW show where everybody pays me to be there, or pays for my room, or pays for anything.
Yeah, don't even
I couldn't believe that. When
don't
was
even
going
get
on.
me started.
That was in '94, man.
But yeah,
Like, this is when the VW scene was still popping. Like, it was still big time, and the stuff she had to do to get drag racers to come out was nuts to me.
well, again, you know, it's all for the sake of the hobby is the reason why people are doing this type of stuff. So hopefully we get something going and we'll find something out. But Corey, you're always welcome to come on the podcast and talk about it. And hopefully this live stream will be a first of maybe many to come with respect to some of the podcasts and things we'll be putting on here. I've been paying for the software for like a couple of years, and I've only used it a handful of times to do this. And some of the videos that you guys will see on there are from this. But anyway, past that, we'll get back to that later. Let's talk about the SEMA show this year. So what was your takeaway from the SEMA show, George?
Henry's Heb was awesome. I mean, just seeing that thing in person was really, it was a pretty sick car to sit there and look at. You could stare at it for quite some time.
I have to clarify something. He did make a mention to me. He said this. It is a Hebmuller outlaw. It's an outlaw style.
Oh, definitely had a
style. But
yeah.
But my point is, it's not an official numbered Heb.
It's not real.
No.
So even still,
Not-
maybe it was the Canadian one. You remember that Canadian one back in the day? The dude that made a Heb back in the day.
Oh no, the Heb rod, that was a full custom. Yeah, that was never.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be.
But I'm just saying, like, that wasn't a real Heb.
Well, but beside all that, the original guy that made it's probably back 10 years ago, and I went to look at my pictures from Kelly Park to see if I had it. There was a guy in Northern California that was recreating the steel Heb bodies.
Mm-hmm.
He was recreating all those, which is, I mean, it was quite expensive. I think the kit was probably around, and somebody in the chat can quote me if they remember, I think the kit was around $15,000.
What's a Heb cost? I mean, Josh
No,
Perry
no.
sold his
Yeah,
for 6 figures. You know, like they're crazy
yeah.
cars, dude.
No,
so
they're
15 be a smoking deal.
yeah, they're.
Get a
I mean,
boat chassis and have at it.
they're definitely there. There was a lot of comments on the video that I had with the Heb on there. A lot of people had a lot of comments. So
That was a really cool car. I met the gentleman Simon from the old dub shop in the UK. He stopped by the shop and I helped him out. He had broken his Safari window latch and I welded it back together for him. And then to see his bug in the MST stand was pretty cool. And the other gentleman he spoke to that had that like hot rod bug in the MST. So VW's had a pretty decent presence in SEMA.
I definitely want to personally thank MST and those guys for really putting some stuff out there. I mean, for all the people that manufacture stuff, MST really they really put it out there with their booth.
Yeah.
I mean, they had
4 cars in there.
4. They had the Dune buggy, the oval, the single cab, the split window, and
The hot rod one.
Yeah,
5.
and then Dustin's car. So, all those cars they had out there were pretty legit. I really appreciate Mary from MST and those guys from really putting the effort into getting behind the VW scene and getting those cars out there, because it's a ton of work and it's not expensive to do that. And every year we go through and do the VW's SEMA and go through and Z-Tronics is the other one that he's always got that double cab
there
in his booth. And so, we had a lot of representation out there this year. Fluffy had the bus out there.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
It was pretty cool though, that even going back to the Heb thing, that it was one of the cars that was unveiled, like the ones they made a special event for to pull the car cover off of. That was pretty cool that a VW was involved in that, you know?
Yeah. No, there's definitely good stuff to see a lot of VW representation out there. And it was cool to see the Hebmuller in that lineup for the Hot Rod Association, seeing it, out there recognized with a lot of other really expensive cars. And so when I say that the Heb was it's like a tribute, they have it specifically put on the placard but even still with all that, to build that car, it's going to cost the exact same. And and the original shells that were made are really, really high quality. The guy in Northern California. So
yeah.
I don't know if you guys in the chat remember who it was in Northern California that was making those,
but real Hebs were not super high quality.
No,
like you look at that one that Buddy did. My goodness, dude! Like he didn't put it back the way that Hebmuller put it. He put it back. What I'm going to say right.
Well,
he put it back correctly.
It's not right or wrong. There's a level of build quality that was acceptable in 1950. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. These were inexpensive cars of the day with respect to the total cost of these vehicles.
And they were a hand-built, coach-built car, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like these were... I mean, they were effectively like a Yugo in modern times. So it was your inexpensive convertible.
Yeah.
So the build quality varied depending on when they were built, Monday or Friday, and, several other factors like that. But there's definitely a lot that's gone into this Heb, and by no means should this Heb get, any negative connotation because of that. But I know they for sure were
if they were upfront about it on the thing, then I mean,
yeah, it says it on the board. But you know what? It's a cool motor,
super high quality build. The rims are cool. I mean, it just had a good look to it. The supercharged engine on it, like it had a lot of cool little features to it.
Yeah, I actually liked a lot. I like the, but then that's me. I like Trevor Zielinski's car that was in the MST booth. Everybody knows me. I'm a big wheel guy, and I like the
one that was on the billet wheels you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's good looking, right?
It's on the screen right now. So he had custom made wheels for it, the 3-piece wheels with the widened fenders and the charcoal and the blue. And that car, he did a real nice job on that car. So, and he was in the Toyo booth last year. So like in the Toyo bridge that goes across, and it was pretty cool to be able to check out his car. I liked a lot of stuff about it with respect to, he's got the full stereo system in there. He's got a Fosgate system in there.
Definitely widened fenders on it, if I remember correctly.
There's no question. Like, it's
pretty big
with this commercial on my trying to live stream from my people.
Unbelievable. So, everything's got a commercial in it now. All right, we'll be right back with this message from our sponsors.
Yeah, no. And I've been getting hit up a lot on my podcast, like, hey, we'd like to insert commercials into your podcast. We can pay you for it. And I'm like, well, how much are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
And it's not enough for me to sacrifice the podcast for commercials. It's not. I don't need it to pay my...
I've been listening to podcasts since 2011, like right about when they were coming out. Well, and one of the beauties of it...
In 03, but yeah.
Anyways, no one was listening in 03.
There was.
I started listening in 2010, 2011, and never listened to them before. But what I really enjoyed about it is you would listen to these podcasts that lasted 1, 2, some of them 3 hours with no interruptions. There was no breaks. There was no commercials. And now every podcast I listen to is just riddled with commercials, man. Like I'm hitting fast forward, and of course you go too far, you hit back, and you get to hear all their stupid, annoying, cute, leave this code at the end, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. The place got to make their money off of it, but
right.
Yeah.
So SEMA Show, was there anything that you saw at SEMA Show that was a standout to you?
To me specifically, of course.
Yeah, that's what we're asking.
When we were at the QA1 booth, they just released their NBS kits, and since I got an NBS truck, I was like, blew me away. I was stoked.
No, that's good to see some stuff like that.
I also didn't spend much time at SEMA, Bill. We went for 3 or 4 hours in one day. So
nothing that you saw that was as far as any kind of technology or something new that you saw that you liked.
The 6-speed transmission we looked at that you made a little video on, the Tremec.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. And it's not a transmission, transaxle that Tremec made, which that's sick. I think that has potential to really make its way into some VWs for guys who are going to really push power to them and want to get crazy with it.
Well, I think that transaxle, it's big money, but if you buy a Mendiola and you rebuild it once, it's the same price that transaxle. Oh, yeah. So it's like
if you buy a Mendiola, it's the same price. He said it's about a $25,000 transmission
True.
Mendiolas are about 25 when you get into the good ones, you know?
So Jared from Ross Wolf, who chimed in here, Jared said the outside smoke show was garbage. I'm going to have to agree.
Agreed.
They had 3 drift pits out there. Like, there's one thing to do a little drift session, whatever, but it's like, and maybe we're becoming the old guys, right? I don't get the drift thing. It just, for me, is just kind of.
You're on the cusp of control and all that stuff, and it is like a fine, you know, it's an art just like anything else. I just don't like all the tire smoke.
But for it to
it's
be,
ridiculous. You get out of that Tesla loop and it's just a cloud coming at you. Like,
yeah, for it to be nonstop it was a little much. So
it's what's hot now, though. You know,
with me at the SEMA show, I'm just trying to think if there was anything, you know, when I look at stuff, I'm looking at other cars and other platforms of vehicles where they're pushing the envelope with a lot of stuff. There was Ring Brothers, always, they never disappoint. They did a DB Austin, was it Austin Healey DB7 or something like that, but it was like a 1970 something. You saw the car. I thought it was a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like a modern Mustang modified, but this was a the part that was still 1970 was like
the James Bond car.
Yeah.
Austin Martin.
It was
Aston Martin.
It was like 6 inches of the windshield maybe. And the rest was just like digitally reprocessed. I mean, they rebuilt the whole car, but it was super cool. Let's see if I pull a picture of Ring Bros.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that. And that one little Audi, what was that? Audi 2000 or whatever it was? That had the Type 3 chassis underneath it.
Yeah.
That was pretty slick too.
Yeah, so I'll throw it on the screen real quick, but this is this was this dude, their DB. Yeah.
Oh, that's slick.
That was crazy. I
mean, it's the James Bond car.
So my point is I checked these cars out, and what a lot of these cars had were they had that rear cantilevered shock setup, which I'm going on record to say in 2008, that's what I wanted to do with my split window because I did the Mendiola chassis and I wanted to put an inside rear cantilevered shock setup in the rear package tray. So whoever does it from this point forward, I had the idea back in 2008. So I'm irritated because I wanted it done. But notwithstanding that, I love looking at that stuff. Some of the center lock mounted wheels, some of that stuff. And now that we start to see VW people not being afraid to start kind of pushing the envelope, which we really haven't seen in a long time with a lot of guys doing just some really cool stuff. You know, Scott Hopkins that I had on the podcast, he's got that 56 Beetle with the split roof section on it. That this makes a perfect transition, a perfect segue into the issue of VW Trends, the latest issue of VW Trends, which I'm going to give everybody my honest opinion about. But and some people may or may not like it, and I have to be honest. Okay, so his car was in that magazine, and it's a really, really great looking car. He's got hot rod inspired interior. He's got like a roof console. He's got all kinds of cool stuff that's on with that car. He's got Budniks, and he's got a lot of different touches to that tie in with kind of the hot rod world, which I like seeing that kind of stuff. And I like, and not necessarily hot rod, just people using contemporary technology in their Volkswagens. Whatever's out there in the aftermarket world, starting to use some of that stuff, whether it's push to start buttons, which I had one in my gray Type 34, the push to start. And, you know, a lot of that kind of stuff, I just love seeing that stuff now. We'll look at the cover of New VW Trends. I'll put that on the screen right now. I can't tell you the feelings that I have when I see the cover of this magazine. And I got to tell you, I couldn't be more disappointed seeing the go-kart on the cover of that, because this is the world according to Bill. So take this for what you believe it to be. Okay. This isn't to hurt people's feelings. This isn't to do anything. This is just my take, and this is my podcast. So I'd like to give my take on it. The cover of this is just something that was it was surprising to me because, you know, I just don't think, you know, in the world of magazines, when you're a car builder or you're a guy that's bringing cars to the market and you're arguing with your buddies about, yeah, my car was on the cover of this magazine, my car was on the cover of that magazine. As soon as something gets on the cover that takes the cover that is a meme, this is a meme. This is, it's just a meme. It now kind of, and
I haven't seen a cool cover on
Trends. Put your comments in if you agree or disagree with me. But when you put a meme on the cover, it kind of devalues the cover to where it's like, what's it worth to get the cover? That
I got
magazine?
my 2 cents on this cover too.
So George, what is your 2 cents on the cut? And
here's my problem. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to disclaim this. I don't want people thinking like, hey, Bill, you're mad because Zorba is a small, tiny picture on the cover. It says Bill T. Zorba the Ghia. I don't care if it says Bill T. The car is kind of built and put together to contribute and add something to the scene. There's other nice cars in the magazine. Scott Hopkins' car was in the magazine. That could have been a cover car. There could have been something. I look at the cover of the magazine, and every time, and we've done this when we did our magazine breakdown, every time you look at the cover of the magazine, it's like, does it make me want to grab it? And does it make me, an enthusiast, want to grab that magazine and check it out? That's it. So when people go like, oh, Bill's crying because his car was on the cover, it just doesn't matter to me. Just make the covers of your magazines where people want to grab them and read them.
Yeah.
Like they want, I have to tell you, Volkswagen recently, it's probably putting out the most interesting covers only because they'll do different type of photo shoots. It's the typical same layout, but there's a lot.
There's levels to every game, and Volkswagen and Air Mighty are above all the others. Period. End of story. Yeah. I mean, there really is no better 2 magazines right now, in my opinion. So, and I know Air Mighty is more of like a seasonal thing.
So go ahead with.
Here's my problem. All right, a bunch of people got together and reproduced a car that was on the cover of VW Trends in the real time, like in the 90s, 80s, 90s. A bunch of guys got together. I was one of those guys that got together, and we remade Russell Ritchie's Ghia. And then we went.
Richie King,
I'm sorry. Richie King's tribute built by Russell Ritchie. Correct. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. A lot of effort went into that. And then we went above and beyond that effort and recreated the cover of what took place on that. So if you know the original cover, there's a gentleman, what's his name? The guy on the bike. He's like popular.
Oh, Matt. That's
no, not Matt Olson, the real one.
What's a guy? It's a guy in the UK.
Guy in the UK that's known for it.
Guy, right?
It's a BMX guy jumping over the Ghia. So we took the effort since we did the car, and Bill called up our buddy Matt Olson, and we recreated that cover. And I saw Dan Ledbetter there while we were shooting it. You know, Alex at Flatform Media shot pictures of all that stuff. A lot of effort went into recreate a VW Trends cover, and they did not use it. Okay, no problem with that. And then VW Trends goes and recreates a Hot VW's cover. Not even their own freaking intellectual property, in my opinion. Recreates a Hot VW's cover and doesn't put like a nice VW on their cover. You know, like, I don't know. It floored me. The issue with the Richie King Ghia in it had the close-up of a split window overexposed. Right. I mean, I'm floored by that.
Yeah. Wow.
I got my own issues with Trends too.
Martin Greaves chimes in and he says the cover photo makes the whole magazine. And
correct.
I have a tendency to agree with that because especially all of us.
It should give you an idea of what you're about to crack open and look at.
All of us come from a background of being enthusiasts. And the majority of us that are in this demographic, in this age today, we got in this hobby through magazines. That was our channel
100%.
because they were never on TV. There wasn't an Instagram. There wasn't any social media. So it was what you saw on the newsstand that got you fired up on the scene and ready to go. So at any rate, you know, it is what it is. And for me, at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference in my life. But the problem is I love this hobby a lot and I love to see the hobby continue to grow. It only grows from younger people getting in the hobby or people.
Younger people might be impressed by that cover, though.
I don't know. I don't think so.
They might be impressed by that cover.
The only reason I don't think so is because that cover's a meme. It's a meme, and there's part of a problem with like that. There's a video of that go-kart with the bug body on it driving around that has like 8 million views. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how many views. To build a car. It doesn't matter how many views it has. It's not. The views are just because it's comical. It's like, wow, what a joke! Look at this thing. And the wow
factor is why it's got 8 million.
But the reality is, you know, again, there's multiple layers on it, especially the take on the cowlook cover, which is just like, I don't know. At any rate,
that was my take on it. I was severely annoyed by it.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's just.
And it didn't even need to be Zorba on the cover.
No,
like you said that split window's in that same issue, right?
Split window is
an amazing car.
It's sick.
An amazing car.
I want a magazine cover that makes me want to find.
Crack it open and look at that car.
Here we go. Let me show you guys this good guys cover. That Grand National. Now I get this because I'm a Good Guys member. That Grand National, the photos on that. There's 2 cars, 2 different photos overlaid on each other. It just looks good. You know what I mean? Like it's just got. I want to find out about this Buick that's on the cover. I'm like, I want to check this thing out. So that's kind of the purpose. Maybe some people get it, some people don't. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And again, it's my podcast, my opinion. I just got to let people know how I feel because it really
if you don't like it, get a mic.
Well, and then I had and then I had to wait a year to see it. So at any rate, that's enough of that. We'll talk about besides the Race of Champions. We were talking about what else, George? I put on the list. This guy. So
the name of the episode.
There's one guy doing the podcast here, and his name is Bill.
I don't do a podcast. I got a YouTube channel, bro.
But so at any rate, so we also want to talk about some of our projects and stuff that are happening. I know I wanted to talk about White Flash, and with White Flash, I've got a lot happening. I know that we were at, and I might just hop on Eric Arnold's page here to find some photographs. Or actually, I have all those photographs on Let's Talk Dubs. So if you guys were looking for photographs for One Crazy Weekend, if you go to Let's Talk Dubs and you go to the One Crazy Weekend page, when I've taken down all the items that you could buy to reserve your stuff and all that for One Crazy Weekend, I now have the photo gallery of all of the cars that were there, photos done by Gary Martin, which we appreciate Gary Martin. We can touch for a few minutes on One Crazy Weekend. Yeah. A lot of feedback that I got that people really loved was the whole Vegas vibe of it, the park out, being parked in front of the hotel casino. Correct. They loved the souvenir, the free souvenir photographs that they got. Yep. And Eric Arnold put his link to One Crazy Weekend photographs in there. And I know that White Flash is one of Eric's favorite cars. So Eric's had a lot of good taste. But I'll get back on a White Flash in just a minute. But they enjoyed the souvenir photos that they got, which no one else is doing. Mm-hmm. They enjoyed the free poker chips they got with every event that they were part of. Yep. They enjoyed the reserved parking spaces because it's a 3-day event. Unfortunately, next year we're gonna be increasing the cost of the event of the show now. And this is the way you can break it down. If it goes up to $60 for the weekend, you got a reserved secured parking space that's your space. That's going to be for 3 days. But at any rate, we're working it out to anything we bring in, we put back in the event to make it better, bigger. The souvenir photographs are awesome. The specialty awards are awesome. And hopefully we might get some more people involved in some of those specialty awards as far as builders.
Cold hard no one else has in the VW scene that I'm aware of is doing $1,000 best of show. No, not I'm aware of.
No,
no.
The bowling tournament was great. The poker tournament was awesome. The
bowling tournament. You say bowling tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Who won that bowling tournament?
Dawn. Her name was Dawn
Santa. No, she won the strike off.
She won the strike pot, which George has words with Jason on that.
Jason Weiler don't know nothing about setting up the damn strike pot, dude. I'll tell you that right now. I asked Clyde Berg about it too. Like, hey, bro, you're a professional bowler on a strike pot. If someone gets the first one, but he's like, it should have been cumulative. And I'm like, yeah.
At any rate,
this guy won the bowling tournament. I called everybody out on my YouTube channel. I told you I was coming strong. I bowl. I'm not a great bowler. I've only got like a 185 average. Right. But I told everybody I was coming to bowl. When it comes to the car show, if I'm involved in a car, I don't even judge it. I walk away from it. It's not even going to get an award because I don't need anything of that.
Right.
Now, when it comes to bowling, that's skill. That's skill. Like, it's a skill set. If you can bowl, you can bowl. If you can't, you can't.
Right.
So that's when I said, I'm coming for that trophy. I want the trophy. Well, I didn't get a trophy. I got cash.
I can tell you that we had a lot of good feedback on the show. So we're going to be announcing in the next 30 days, we're going to be announcing the details for One Crazy Weekend 2026. And it's going to be good. It's going to be better. One thing we're hoping to add to it, if I can, was the NASCAR track. If we can pull that off, I'm really working hard to pull that off. I've been kind of talking.
Let's go a little deeper. When you're talking about the NASCAR track, we're trying to align to where if we get a good group of people there on Thursday,
well, that's what I was getting into,
that we would be able to use the track.
So my cursory conversations with them with respect to using the NASCAR track, if I could commit to them, I have 200 cars that are coming out, which is
That's
not
a tough commitment.
No, it's not. if people have a year to register and they're coming out to One Crazy Weekend and they prepay in advance, that because the money's going to charity, it's going to their charity. That's
It's
what it takes
$75
for them
and it's worth it
to put the event on. So I'm going to. We'll see. Anyway, I haven't hammered those details out, but it would just be one extra cool thing to do for the weekend.
Yeah,
it would be maybe a Thursday afternoon thing where people kind of go between the events. They'd get enough time to run out to the speedway and run their car 5 laps on the NASCAR track. Which, how cool would that be if you just had a picture of all these cars like they do in Spa in France? They have all the cars on the track and they just get all kinds of film footage. So. At any rate,
it would be awesome, and if we could make that happen, I don't think we could commit 200 Volkswagens, but if we could commit like 75 to 100 of them, and then obviously, as they advertise it when we were there doing it, other cars show up to do it as well, because it is a once in a lifetime, not once in a lifetime, but it's a very cool opportunity if you get a chance to do it. I would recommend it.
It is.
Got a YouTube video about it. Check it out. The Wagon YouTubechannel.com.
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
We're working on finalizing that stuff. So One Crazy Weekend 2026 is being hammered out in the next 2 weeks. We'll have all the details hammered out, and we'll be announcing all the stuff for 2026. And I'm excited for that because it continues to keep growing. We're going to probably lock in the car count at about 400 and just lock it in at that, and then just make it. It's just going to be a great event all around. George, you just got to mute your phone, bro. So. That's one of the things that we're working on. I was back on White Flash. So I've been working on White Flash since I got her back, and had to take the wheels off because I had a powder coat situation where I sprayed the wheels with a little bit of brake cleaner and it turned the powder coat to like mush. So,
hey guys out there in the world, brake cleaner is super, super aggressive. There's a reason why you can spray it on things that come clean instantly. So
but also
be mindful when you go to spray your wheels, anything painted, anything like that.
I did reach out to a few people, and someone was telling me, I can't remember who. Somebody told me starting fluid. They said use starting fluid on that stuff, and it has the same effect of brake cleaner, but it's not as harsh. At any rate, I had the wheels repowder coated, and then I started doing. I swapped out the dash because we got.
We had a Wolfsburg West dash that I had sitting around the shop that was a bit on the crusty side. And then I got an Impy dash from S&S Air Cooled that they brought up for me. Awesome.
And they contributed a new Impy dashboard for my 69 and put that in. It went in super easy compared to how the other one went in. And I cut the dash. Well, the dash is already cut for a single DIN radio. So I've had a single DIN Alpine DVD player forever. And so now I'm putting like all old school Alpine equipment in it to match the look of the car. I actually just ordered Alpine logos for the windshield just the other day. So
what color is that car, Bill?
Alpine white. It's Alpine white. I don't know. I'm wrong. I'm with you, dude. Alpine should be on the phone like, Bill, can we get a piece of this car? And I'm getting ready to order what's up? What's up, Junebug? Junebugs. Shout out to Junebug who came by the shop Junebug? And all that stuff. So, but yeah, I'm doing the whole system. I've got an Alpine V12 amp, old school Alpine V12 amp that's going under the hood, and then I've got that. I think it's an IV901 in-dash DVD player, a 12 disc changer, and some other stuff. So I'm going to outfit White Flash with all that stuff. In addition to, we got to get it to George's shop and take care of an oil leak on some stuff, to switch out some push rod tubes, we'll put in some of the Ross Wolf Viton push rod seals.
I already have those for it.
And then switch out some of that because I got some new push rods for it and stuff. But take care of the oil leaks that car runs, because that car, the only thing we did on that car, we mounted the seats in there on some brackets that I had, and the seat bottoms sit a little bit flat, which you normally wouldn't think is a problem.
Angled, you're saying. Normally they'd angle back a little bit, and it's a little too forward.
Yeah, no, it's just flat. So when I was driving, like when Andy and I took that drive out to
Good
Springs, it was like it was really uncomfortable. Like my legs were getting numb a little bit. Like it was just the wrong seating position.
Correct. It doesn't have an angle
so I'm gonna re-drill the seats and pull it back, and then like tilt them back and move them back like 2 inches, because as far back as it goes, I don't know why. I just feel like I need to go back a little bit further, but definitely working on, trying to get White Flash dialed in a little bit more. We lowered the back end since One Crazy Weekend a little bit more. I think I lowered it like probably another inch, and then with
does that have adjustable spring plates on it?
It does. It's got adjustable spring plates in the back, and then doing that, I'll just put a picture of White Flash up on the screen just so everybody can bask in White Flash's beauty. Jeez Louise, that car's got a good look to it. And then love the Penta style wheels that are on it. And so I'll do the Alpine system in there. I did get some of the I have power window kits that I'd like to put in there because I love like power windows and all that stuff, like all that stuff in the 80s that people were doing.
It's just getting that window to go up and down super smooth. That's
the thing. Matter of fact, Rick, I can't think of Rick's last name. Rick, you know who you are.
Meredith, Rick Stan, what is it?
No, it's Rick. I can't think of Rick's name. Rick's last name. So Rick knows who he is, but he's got one piece. He had one piece windows in his yellow car.
Okay.
And in the yellow car, you could close the door and it made no rattle, no nothing. It was solid. So he's got to give me the insight as to how he secured his one piece windows to not rattle or any that kind of stuff. And again, once you get that mechanism moving up and down, converting them to electric is pretty easy. I have the power window kits here, so I like to do power window kits. Build a center console for it. I have a template for a center console, so I'll do that. I got a new wiring harness for it, so I'll put a new wiring harness in it. So it's kind of a backwards rebuild.
Yeah.
But
that car has the very last wagon beam I ever built.
But it just has a good look to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't sit super slammed on the ground. And driving that car with the wide tires in the front and the wide tires in the back when I had my Silver Bug, I didn't get to drive it very long with a big motor. And with that big motor, it's the wide tires feel like they have a purpose. You know what I mean? Because it's got a lot of power in that car, and it feels good. The 48's 2276 in there. That 2276 is the motor that was built by Joel Moore that was in the Chop Top when I got the Chop Top. So it's a good stout motor, and just going to get that thing situated. We just got wheels back for the sunroof car that I have, the automatic sunroof Type 34 Cory Ghia, and that car is getting ready to get lowered and put the wheels and tires on it, so it doesn't look as stock as it looks. I just can't stand up. There's a picture of it on the screen right now. It's that car right there, and the wheels that are the front end sits nose high, and I'm just not a big fan of that. It's uncomfortable to drive.
That's kind of the way they sit, though, huh?
But I think that's when the suspension gets tired, because you look at the photos in the magazine, they're all level, and I think over time the back starts to sag. It's just like Corvettes do, or Corvairs. I mean,
what if you were to put your tires on you have now that are smaller in the front? Would it correct that nose up?
If you look at the photograph that we're looking at, that photograph, if I measure that belt line's got to be an inch and a half to 2 inches higher than the rear, which is it's like a shark going down the road. It's just terrible. So I've got the wheels that are opposite of like turtle backs on there. So I've got, they're called Carreras.
They're pretty slick. We mounted tires on them last night.
Yeah, when we were at George's shop, we slapped up some tires on there. Shout out to my buddy Drew's Tire Pros for getting me the tires. I was able to drive down there and buy them direct. And I have a Volkswagen Adventure that I want to share about, which is I was on Facebook Marketplace, as I'm always looking for stuff that I do not need. And I'm super irritated that I can't log into my iCloud right now because I'm trying to get my pictures. And on Facebook Marketplace, there was a Sport Beetle, and it was $2,300. And I found this. I'm pretty positive it's the same car like 3 years ago. As I keep doing the podcast and learning more about later and later Beetles, there's a Sport Bug that Volkswagen came out with in 1973. Let me see, Sport Bug. Sport Beetle, and they came out in two colors. They were they were yellow and like a marathon blue, and I have one. I have the catalog for one. When I had the guy on the podcast that worked for Volkswagen since 1962. He sent me all the catalogs, everything he had, and I think I have one of those new the Sport Beetle pamphlet. So as the Japanese market started getting a little tougher, they had Volkswagen start trying to do something to jazz up the Super Beetle, and they came out with what they call the Sport Bug. Hold on, I'm looking at it here because I can put it on the screen. Sport Beetle. And the Sport Beetle had they had specific seats with them that were different than what you would normally get. So they were side bolstered seats, and they had, Yeah, so I'll put a picture on the screen right here of a Sport Beetle right here. So this is what a Sport Beetle looks like if you guys are watching the screen. So it was yellow. It had the 914 stamp steel wheels that come on the 914. So they're 6-inch wide wheels, blacked out bumpers, blacked out trim. It had a black stripe that goes around the back, and it's a Super Beetle. So I'd like to add a Super Beetle to my collection. This is the Super Beetle I'd like to add. So as of yesterday, I went because there was one in the ad, and I saw the black stripe, and I said, that's a sports bug. I'm going to get it. Now I saw the interior shot of it, and here, I'll put it back. You look at your screen live, George. Mm-hmm. And so when I saw the black stripe, I was like, this is a sports bug. I'm going to get it. So I called the guy up. He said, yeah, you can come by at 3:00, check it out. So I head over there, and I'm just like, I don't need this car. I don't need this car. I'm trying to talk myself out of the car because I don't need it. But I'm like, I have 2 Sport Beetle wheels in my garage that I found because I thought they're cool. They're like 14-inch steering wheels that are stamped steel. It's like a 70s race car style aftermarket, right? It's flat black steel. It's stamped with the VW logo on it. And it's got a real thick padded handle around it. So the Sport Beetle came with the black trim, the wider wheels, 185 tires instead of 165s, black bumpers, black trim, and the special bolstered seats and a little trick shifter and a center console that it had on the floor. So these are all little things that the Sport Bug had. And as I'm looking at the pictures online, I'm like, yeah, it's got this. It's got. I can tell it.
Was it all present when you went to look at it?
It had a different steering wheel. It didn't have those wheels.
What about seats?
It had the seats. Is the only thing that it had.
So the shifter's gone.
The shifter,
stripes aren't there.
The stripe is there.
What about black bumpers?
Stripe is there. Matter of fact, I'll pull the picture up of it in my marketplace ad here. Let me put this back on. So this is
local in Las Vegas.
It was in Las Vegas. So someone must have had, because I found it on OfferUp years ago, and the guy never responded to me. So I was a little bit perturbed about that. But I ended up contacting this guy. He agrees to come see me.
These are from the ad.
I go over there. Yeah, the ad's probably still up. And I doubt he sold it unless he may have sold it. Good for that guy, man, because I went to look at it yesterday, bro, and I'm gonna tell you right now,
he told you someone else was interested, right?
I will buy some garbage.
Yes, you do.
And I walked up to this thing. No disrespect to this guy, but this car had so much rust. It had so much rust. And I was just like, I can't even buy this thing. Like, it's got the seats. And I told the guy, I said, listen, this is a Sport Beetle. He goes, yeah, I know it's a Super Beetle. I said, no, it's a Sport Beetle. And here are some things about this car that make it kind of cool. But, I just can't. Let me see if the ad's still. I'll go to my marketplace things and see if I can pull it up. Yeah, let's see. Did he take the ad? Sold. He put it up. So somebody bought it. So I'll put the picture up.
You can't look at the ad like in your discussions.
Nope,
if you click on it.
So this is the ad. You really can't tell. All this is like, we're talking big time bubbles underneath the fenders, all that stuff. I mean, it's bad. Like the pan's bad. So you can see it's got I don't know if that's the shift or not. The steering, it doesn't have the right steering wheel. Whoever bought it, if you need that steering wheel.
Looks like chrome bumpers, huh?
Yeah. So someone dented the bumpers. They got rid of all the black bumpers.
Not the right wheels.
Right. But when you see the seats.
It really had the chrome trim on that with that goofy stripe, or did this guy make it look like that?
It's supposed to have black trim. So those are Sport Beetle seats. So if you see those seats, they're Sport Beetle seats. And I told the guy, I said, hey, I mean, maybe he found somebody that just had to have it. I mean, for me, it was
rust is the deal breaker.
So rusted. I wish I could show you the.
It's funny he didn't catch on the limo bug.
Wow, the limo bug guy arrived in Texas and it was too late to turn around. So, but yeah, it was bad, dude. But he's like, hey, there's a guy coming, and I was like, yeah, no problem, man. Hey, no disrespect, dude.
I probably got it.
Don't worry, I let this other guy take a look at it.
What was he asking on that?
$2,300, which is it wasn't a bad. It's
not a flat windshield super. If it was a flat windshield super, or did they not make that in the sport one?
No, they didn't make it a sport bug. No. The flat windshield supers are hideous, dude. If you're gonna get a super, just get a super. Get the curved windshield. The luxurious dash you could reach out to the world for. But yeah, I almost had a Sport Beetle, but man, I'm telling you, I told my wife, I said, babe, you know me, it takes a lot for me to back away from buying a car, especially a car that's fairly inexpensive. And I said, this car, I just looked at this car and I said, I can't even buy it for the seats. Like, there's no, and then I thought, what's wrong with you, Bill? Even if you bought this car $1,500, the amount of money it would cost you, you could buy a finished one for $20,000. Finished. Finished level 10 restored. And so, the worst thing is I had Andy on the phone with me when I was talking. He was like, get it, mate, get it. And I'm like, dude, I should get it. And I sent him the pictures.
It's like rust isn't that big of a deal because he lives in the UK and everything's rusty there.
Like this thing had rust all the way around the bottom, like a lot, dude. Whoever got it, God bless you, man. You just get a tetanus shot and go to work. It's you got a lot going on over there. So, but yeah, there's lots happening. We got the double cab is in George's shop right now, getting some wrenches turned on it.
Bill's having some problems. It was just literally idling and making these loud cracks, pop, 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 while it was idling.
That's a modern day import tune.
Yeah, that pop bang tune. And he brought it to the shop, dug a little deeper. One of the floats on the right carb was just overflowing, and the carbs probably need a little more attention. And I'm not very familiar with 48s. Like I've never set float levels and all that stuff. I'm sure it's easy, but I've never done it. So Bill had a set of 48 IDFs at his house and another set of manifolds. So recently I just swapped those. And unfortunately, we still have a little bit more problems I got to work with. Plus, did a little soldering on the turn signal switch that his granddaughter modified for him.
Oh my gosh, my granddaughter gets in this car and she spins that turn signal switch 180 degrees, like 300.
If you guys are familiar with buses, like the loom comes out of the pod and then it goes up to your turn signal switch. And I thought it was so weird. I'm like, why does Bill have the loom wrapped around the column? Like, what is this?
Yeah, shout out to Justin Ansel for his comment in the chat there. Appreciate you for chiming in there. But when you got grandbabies, they just get the car, and I'm happy that my granddaughter wanted.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law would take my granddaughter and put her in every single car in the garage. Just they'd sit in there for 10 minutes and then pretend they're driving and move to the next car and whatever. It's just something to keep my granddaughter occupied. So now when she comes in, every time she comes in the garage, she's like, Papu, can I sit in this car? Can I sit in this car? So I'm like, all right, I put her in the car, and I'm like, stop grabbing the turn signal switch, because she likes to grab that turn signal switch and spin it around. So that came off. Brake lights are fixed. I didn't have brake lights for a while. And,
unfortunately, we still got ignition issues we got to work out.
Yeah, we'll get
figure them out.
Well, I'm thinking it's coil. So, but that's going to get dialed in, and then I've got my yellow. The Ghia TC is down. We dropped it off Scott Gildner's earlier this year. He says I should have back in a few weeks. So looking forward to getting that back. The Ghia TC. I did snatch up some new wheels. I got a bunch of different wheels. And one of the things maybe we could chat about for a minute is when you're trying to work on going outside the box for stuff, for wheels and things like that, I have a set of wheels. I love the look of like Ferrari wheels, and especially like a 5-star wheel that's like a Ferrari look that would be in a car. And so I found some wheels that look similar to those, and a guy was selling 5 of them for $300 on Marketplace. So I went and snatched those wheels up, and those are in those boxes outside that are getting rained on. I'm really looking forward to those wheels, and those wheels. Bad Raz is on the chat. What's up, Stanley? What's up?
What's up, Stan?
And so those wheels are probably going to go on the Ghia TC, because the Ghia TC, the wheels sit real tucked in on the body. And so I want to put some wheels that have a lip on them. And I might have to reach out to my friend Chris Broswell to maybe modify one of the wheels to fit, maybe cut it down a little bit. But these wheels are 5 on 127. I don't think it'd be a big deal to get them slugged and bump them out to 5 on
130.
On 130. And then
I went from 5 on 114.3 to 5 on 112, and you can't even tell. And I have actual holes my lugs go in, like they're buried in the wheel, and you can't even tell because the 3 millimeters is split in half, so it's only 1.5 millimeter to make that difference.
So you can still see when you look at your hole that's a little bit
correct.
That's
if you sit there and stare at it, you'll see that it's a little further in.
127, so it's 1.5 millimeters offset.
It's the same. I went from 114 to 5 on 120.
Maybe I could pull this off with a drill press.
Or 5 on 112. I'm sorry, 5 on 112 is what mine are. Mine are bay window hubs in the front.
Oh, so you went from 114 to 112.
112.
So you went a little tighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you see them a little off center inward in the holes.
So I got those wheels. So guys, make sure, check Marketplace. Think outside of the box when you're looking at wheels. Now with the technology people have with being able to take a wheel, chuck it up on a lathe and narrow it, cut a little bit out of it and whatnot. I mean, I love when people just do stuff that's different and kind of switch some things up. So I'm looking forward to getting these wheels on.
Nothing's more of an inspiration than when you park next to somebody with your same wheels. Yep, that ain't happening again.
Well, I remember when I was building the Bull Run bus, I was like, I'm going to be the first bus on BRMs. When the BRMs came out, I was like, I'm going to be the first bus. I haven't seen any buses on BRMs. Went to the show, saw a bus on BRMs. And I was like, foiled again.
Funny enough, when I first lowered my bus, it was on 17-inch BRMs. And I went to a show, and someone was right next to me with 17-inch BRMs, and I said, "Gay, no,
You got to stop that.
We got to change that now."
So anyway, so the rest of this year, I don't know if I know there's a show happening in the Virgin Islands for those guys out there in the Virgin Islands. I know I was trying to make plans to go to that, but I just it's a lot to make it happen, and I don't know what car I could trust to just ship out there and just be okay with it just being there for a month or whatever.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's not going to happen for me this year. But shout out and good luck to all the guys that are going out there to that show in the VI. And I think the next event that's coming up is a lot of people I'm sure there's a lot of people doing charity runs for the holidays, donating stuff, Toys for Tots, all that kind of stuff.
There's one that's taking place, I believe, on the 14th. That Nick LaFrance put on our group text, a local one in Vegas for a car run.
So as far as
that
Vegas,
the Euro Day guys are putting on.
As far as Vegas, we were going to have a show here in a couple weeks, but no more. No mas. Okay. Oh, Buses by the thanks, Eric Arnold. Buses by the Bridge is coming out.
Coming in January.
Yeah, that'll be happening in January. So hopefully, maybe my bay. I don't know if my bay will be ready by January. We'll see. I doubt it, but you never know.
Does it already run and drive? No, it doesn't.
Justin said he could probably get it running in a day. I'd probably get it running in a day. But at any rate, lots going on. Just trying to get myself back in the road. And my next thing that I'll be doing is getting. I got to get with Carol at So Fine. Shout out to So Fine Interiors. And I did want to recognize our friend Jack Wank, who passed away. I want you guys to know that when we did that podcast with him, that's while he was in the hospital in hospice, and I was honored to be able to get his story and put that podcast together so that we could share it with the VW community. So. Shout out to Jack Wank and Cindy Wank. And,
man, that dude drove from Texas to come to One Crazy Weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, when you live your life and you have a passion, and then you're at the end of your life, like he knew, he's not silly. Mm-hmm. That was touching. That really was. When he pulled up in the parking lot and he was trying to unload it, we all gave him a hand unloading it because he's in his 90s. How old was he?
He was 70, 75.
He was pretty old. Pretty old and pretty tired looking. Like you could tell he had been sick for a while, and he wasn't in the best of health. So we all got together and we unloaded his car from him at that. Like, that was a touching moment for me. Like that dude, he knew the writing's on the wall, and he wanted to have one more go in his car. Yeah, it just shows you how important that car was to him in his early life.
Yeah. Shout out to Greg Stoggren, who just chimed in. He said, maybe fix the headlight and the rear tire on my Rag Chop Bug while you're doing maintenance.
Hey now,
Rag Chop.
Hey now.
And so Rag Chop, that right rear tire, no matter what, that right rear tire, I think it's the BRM that just leaks.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the BRM.
But
probably got a pinhole in the magnesium somewhere. I'd put money on it. It's not the tire. I'll tell you that.
But it's always gone. It's always gone a little bit.
Shout out to Greg too for coming out to One Crazy Weekend as well. That dude came all over from Canada. One Crazy Weekend.
He wants the car dialed in for next time he's on the strip. So
yeah,
we'll
get right on that, brother.
Greg, get here a couple days early so you could just get.
Yeah, why don't you come in the shop and you take care of that, Greg? I'll give you a lift and everything, bro.
You get to dial in Rag Chop there.
If I had to dial in Bill's cars, I wouldn't be able to do anybody else's cars. I'll tell you that right now. Every one of them.
Well,
with the carbon cap has 2 taillights right now. 2 taillights, brake lights, everything.
Yeah, it hasn't left the shop.
Get ready to faint because as soon as he takes off and his floater battery nails that taillight, it's going to shut off anyway. So
no, I think I got the battery strap here.
No, you don't. It moves.
But
I was into this week. I said, well, I might have to make a battery box for my brother because it's so annoying.
Well, that's it. Well, Greg says count him in. He's all game to
let's get it
to make it all happen. But yeah, overall, it's been good. Hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving out there and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But I'm sure we'll probably do we could probably do another roundtable before then. But I definitely wanted to discuss a lot of things that we discussed. Bummed out about the Race of Champions, but I totally get it. I would not be taking that risk.
No way.
It's a big expense, and is it worth it when it's all said and done? Again, maybe go back to the drawing board. We'll get it set up. We'll team up. They can team up. They can come in town while one crazy weekend is happening, because even the races are a different group than the show people. You know,
And even if people weren't, say, like to take their car out there to show it, he might get more spectator participation, which would help out with the gate a little bit. You know, if there was already a captive audience here, you know.
Yeah, I went out there for a drag race event not long ago, and it was a World Finals Top Fuel. There was a Top Fuel car that, through the tile industry, Schluter sponsors a car.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the guy's name, Clint something. I don't know, but it's Top Fuel guy.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we went out there, bro, you got to walk 12 miles to get to the pits, and it's just such a. It's a day. It kicks it out of you out there at the track, man. And so,
how was the attendance there on a Top Fuel event? Were the stands filled?
It's Top Fuel event. We're there on a Friday, so it was like qualifying days. Friday during the day, but so the first parking lot was half full.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what they have right outside of the gates. And then on Saturday, I'm sure it was just jammed.
What about the stands? I'm saying when you actually went and watched racing, were they?
Yeah, the stands were okay. The stands were fairly like Friday is hardcore racers that are there, like guys that follow.
It would have
the
been better to
circuit,
see
that do
like
all the
Saturday
stuff.
when people are off work.
Yeah, I'm sure Saturday was jam packed.
But I'm just curious how an event like that does. You know,
yeah,
it's a tough spot to fill, dude.
No, but again, those events also have sponsors like Summit Racing, and you know those guys that you know. $100 million entities that are putting up, $25,000-$30,000 to sponsor the event. So
speaking of the Speedway, when we did a little run around that track,
when we did the NASCAR track,
track, you were talking to somebody in line.
Oh yeah. So as luck would have it, we're pulling through, and one of the tech guys says, "Oh yeah, you got this bus." He says, "You want to buy another one?" I was like, "Yeah. Well, what do you got?" And he's like, "I got this bus over here in Arizona." So he starts showing me pictures of a early bay, and I said, "Yeah, I'll take it." I said, "What do you want for it?" He's like, "I don't know, make me an offer." So I made him an offer, he negotiated some stuff, and boom, we ended up picking up another bus. And I knew George was getting trapped working on my cars.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey George, I got a present for you," because I already just bought an early bay, so now George has an early bay. So I went down there,
70,
picked up this early bay, and then drug it back here, dropped it off at George's place, and it's super straight.
Yeah.
It's probably an easy bake oven cleaner, dollar store oven cleaner
hoping so.
job away from getting back to the original paint. Because if it's got that original, even if it has a little patina underneath there, it'd be a rad looking. Because it's a tin top camper, and it's got the full camper interior in it right now. And
all in very bad shape, but it's there, and that's templates and everything. You know?
The majority of the wood stuff is decent. The foam and stuff, all that can be done, but it's overall. I mean, it's a solid starter project.
So my wife had.
Nothing like the SEB.
My wife had never expressed an interest of getting a bus to me. And then I sent her a picture of it and said, "This is our new score." And then she called me up and she said, "I was just talking with one of the other wives in the club, and I was telling them how I would really like to have my own bay to do something to." So I said, "Well, babe, you got your own bay now. There you go. That is yours to deal with."
That's how it works.
So she's coming. She's out of town right now visiting my mother-in-law. When she gets back next weekend, she's coming to the shop on Saturday from morning till night, and she's going to work on cleaning that thing up, like actually cleaning the interior out and everything like that, and getting it just to get a good assessment of where it's at. It's a solid little car. The motor's there. The motor turns over. So I see top end parts inside, which makes me go, what happened if they got top end parts in here? But I'm going to try and get her fired up as is.
Yeah, and I think
keep an eye on the Wagon YouTube channel. We'll be doing a video on it.
Yeah, so if you go on with the Wagons YouTube channel, you'll be able to check out all that stuff. I did go to the mini truck show. I forgot to mention that after.
Day to remember that Freaks of Natures puts on in Las Vegas.
Right, and I'm going to scroll through some pictures so people can see some of these pictures I'm talking about. So I was at the Day to Remember show, and happened to go make a video that's on my YouTube channel now. And then I got a top 50 in that show, which was pretty cool. I was stoked about that. So a Day to Remember, and I just put out a video on that, sent it to the people at Day to Remember. Hopefully they'll repost it. And then while I was there, I had met these guys, Marco Botello, and then I met Carl.
Brazilian dudes.
Yeah, Carl and these guys from Brazil. And Marco, on your screen, the guy on the far left, he's got a big YouTube following. And then on the right, Carl over there, he makes shifters. So he's got a company that makes shifters and all that stuff. So he gave me some sample parts and pieces. We installing some of those in my in one of the project cars coming up. And this was us out there. I picked them up in the limo bus. They got the full Vegas treatment.
Yeah,
it was pretty fun. Let's see. This is one of the products that he makes here. Is this Billy Club bus shifter that you can reach. It touches the headliner. So, but this bus shifter he's got is, it has a separate 20 centimeter extension. And those are some of the parts he dropped off. So we'll be checking some of those out, put them in some of the cars. And so that was pretty interesting for, going to that Day to Remember show. And then I give you guys a sneak peek of the wheels that are going on Zorba, or the white car. So these are the wheels that I picked those up from Jason Lindquist. These 4 wheels on the bottom I had just recently powder coated and polished. And those are going to go on my, on the white car, my wife's white sunroof car. And then let's see what else we got here. And I may have accidentally bought this set of wheels, another set of 4 lug wheels. And then I actually would have had on here just a second ago was the wheels that I have selected for, when I told you about those wheels that I bought on Marketplace for $250 for a set of 4. There they are. Don't look too long.
Wheels.
Ferrari. Okay, they're not Ferrari, but listen, it's got a horse on there, so close enough. But yeah, there's lots of fun, cool stuff to do. And I'm seeing if there's anything else. Here's the wheels. Oh, here are the pictures of I didn't even take pictures of Russ, bro. Look, just look at this. Just look at this taillight. You ever seen Russ run a taillight like that? George?
I don't see the picture. It's not. There's a delay time, but go ahead.
So it's probably
it'll come up here in a second.
7-second delay on this thing. If you're looking at the rust on this taillight, it is like the rust's taillight is just the tip of the iceberg. It's the first thing you hit in the Titanic. I mean, it was. Because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, I'm going to leave my truck here. I'm going to drive this thing home.
That is not a Vegas car, bro.
So you can see this. They got the center console in here. And then you can see the sport bug seats and the shifter, but yeah, it was just a no-go for me, man. And for me, man, it takes a lot for me to walk away from buying a car, but I had to, bro. And this was probably. I'm
glad you came to your senses, dude, because that's trash
probably
on a stick
the
right
new
there,
buyer. So at any rate, that's what's been happening. There's lots more going on. I'm not in the market for a Sport Beetle. But I am in the market for a Sport Beetle. I sold the Mexican Beetle, the brand new Mexican Beetle. And then I ended up parlaying that money into buying the sunroof car. So the sunroof car.
The Type 34.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's how I justified buying it. I was like, well, this offsets it. So if I'm buying that car for X amount of dollars,
I agree.
That'll be it. So the Friel group says that Eric Arnold says Bay is the way. So, and Eric, we've known you've been Bay for a long time. So he's one of the OG Bay guys. The Friel group, Patrick Friel says, Bill brings Zorba to the next Type 3 rally. Well, hopefully the next Type 3 rally is not conflicting with crazy weekend.
Always does.
Unfortunately, I gotta,
he's got priorities.
We do that one crazy weekend, and I've got people pressing me for dates and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, I think we covered just about everything that we had going on. Support your local VW shops, guys, because they're few and far between.
Yeah.
If you're in Vegas here, go support Damn Volks. Give those guys some support. Don't forget to subscribe to VW Trends Magazine.
Get the magazine for the people, by the people.
Get your magazine subscription put in today. In addition to that, go check out Ross Wolf. Go get you some Viton seals. George says they're good.
Use that promo code.
And use that promo
LTD10.
Code. That's right, LTD10 for a 10% off discount.
Those Viton gaskets are awesome. I use them on the sumps, and I've used them on the push rods, and they are fantastic. Push rod tubes.
Yeah.
Get you some.
Yeah, so... And also, don't forget to go get yourself some Icon pistons. Our friend over there at Type E Motorsports, he sells Icon piston and cylinder sets. So go,
Brian at Type E Motorsports.
Get with Brian and pick up some.
Speaking of Type E Motorsports,
Icon pistons.
The wagon's got a Type E Motorsports Easy IRS conversion installation video coming your way. I'm about 75% done with editing. It's a long one. Get ready, kids. Pack a lunch. Watch the video when it comes out.
That's it. Well, George, I think that's it, man. I think that's we're wrapping it up. And the next one I'm going to do, I know I've been promising to do this. I've got a lot of viewer emails and stuff like that, or listener emails and stuff that I'd like to put out and just kind of go through one by one and just assess a bunch of stuff for people. So I'm going to take some time, put that together, and get some questions put out. And That's about it, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate you guys for checking us out today. For those, listen, worst case scenario for you guys that were bored today, at least you had something you got to do while you're waiting for the bird to be cooked, or you were already eating your bird. So
if anybody needs any foam, let me know. I got you covered.
That's right. Yeah, George got foam in the background. That's the sound. You know when you hear the echo in the studio, that's because that soundproofing foam has not been installed.
It's not hit the walls yet.
It's only been there for a couple of years, so we're just working on it. We're easing our way into it like an old man to a warm bath. So, well, guys, until next week, later.
You probably don't know that there's a new Volkswagen out that doesn't look like a Volkswagen.